What's up guys, Len and Brian with Generation Ballers here. Be sure to like this video and check out our channel for all the newest content to help take your game to the next level. Alright guys, quick overview for our 10 layups. Offhand, you got 7 makes, dominant hand, you got 5 makes. First 2 on both sides is a 1 dribble layup, depending on which type you're doing, and the following are 2 dribbles layup. Let's get into it. All right, let's discuss the first 4 layups. We've got a standard layup, we've got over the head layup, we've got 2-foot, what I call a big man layup, and we've got a no effort layup. So the way this is gonna work is you start anywhere within the free throw line end, depending on which one it is. And if it's standard layup, you gotta take 1 dribble, layup. You gotta do that. Since I'm right-handed, I'm gonna do that twice and then make 3 2 dribbles, starting back, 3-point line. If you need to step in just a little bit, 1, 2, layup. So that's standard. Next you got overhead. Overhead's about the same thing, except instead of going under, which is typically how you would do a standard layup, you take 1 dribble, and you go over. You'll see this in the video here in a sec. You want to make sure you're getting it over, and the difference is if you have someone on you, you might have to go get a little, it's called ball body defender, where you go a little over like this instead of right underneath where they pin it. So there's reasons for these drills. Next, you've got 2-foot, what I call big man layup. If you can smack the backboard, that's what coach always used to tell us to do. You take 1 dribble, power, go up, 2-foot layup. Smack the backboard if you can. A couple times when you get in there, pump fake, and then go. That's for if you have someone trailing you and you look like you're going up strong, they're gonna jump. Now you might want to be careful they jump onto you, but then you drew the foul. And last, we have a no effort layup. What I mean by this is you don't go up at all. You're dribbling, you're not paying attention, and you flick it. The reason this is effective is you'll see in the drill one time, on the 2 dribble portion, I'll drive this way, and then I'll drive back. And if your defender thinks you're not looking really at the basket, you're kind of surveying the floor, you might come back out, 1 dribble, ball's in. I had one teammate one time that did this constantly, and he get probably 2, 4, maybe even 6 points a game sometime, just off sitting here, surveying the floor, and then flicking it up. All right, let's get into it. All right guys, now for our 5th and 6th layup. These are one and the same really because it's just 1 foot versus 2 foot, but we got 1 foot up and under and 2 foot up and under. You got reps for both, but here's how it works. You start about here for your 1 dribble, maybe a little farther back. And when you go, you've got 1, 2, look like you're going up for a layup. This isn't gonna cut it. I mean, it doesn't have to be much more than that, but when you go up, this is all gonna be in the air, gotta get some hang time. go up, and when they blow by, or if they're on this side and they look like they're about to block it, use the rim as a second defender for you. And it's funny because normally when we say defender, you're talking about on the offensive player, but in this case, they're defending the defender. So you go up, and then you go through. Same thing with 2 feet. 1, 2, go up, go under. And what I tell my players, a big word for us is exaggerate. So when you're going, you want to get the ball, you want to try and get the ball more up there and work with it, try and get it, try and not get that way down, that motion down, because when you're in a game, if you are fatigued, the ball might only go more in that area. And that's a big 2 feet difference, but your body's got to know the movement. That's why that's important. Let's get into it. All right, for your last 4 layups, we got reverse, high off the glass, Euro, and reverse Euro. So, on reverse, you want to start at an angle or even go from the corner. When you go, you want to take a dribble or 2 dribbles, depending on where you're starting. 2 hands, reverse, and sometimes you want to take a dribble and go off 1 hand. If you're shielding your defender, or the time might just call for it. It depends. You get better extension with 1 hand than 2 hands because that's not realistic. Then when it comes to high off the glass, this is for when there's 6'8", 6'10", 7-foot guy in the paint. And if you're a little guy, you're gonna have to do this sometimes because you can't just draw the contact, because you might draw the contact, go up, they're on the way down and still swat it. So the point of this one is when you're there, you want to get that ball. I mean, we're talking top of the backboard. You might accidentally shoot it over when you're first working on this if you hadn't done this a lot. But the whole point is to go here and get it way up in the air. And we're not slamming off the backboard. It's a nice little, it's almost like a floater. But it's still considered a layup because it's going off the glass. And that's pretty much it for that one. Next, you've got Euro. Euro has to go, a normal Euro has to go away from the basket, then to the basket, which means 1 step, and we're not going under here, we're going over. So 1 step, over, layup. And when you're going on a Euro, you want to get some space with it. Create space. That's the whole point of a Euro, is to create space and get by your defender. Especially if they're running through, a lot of defenders have a habit of when they're running through, trying to get it, which is another reason we don't go under, we go over. And then finally we got the reverse Euro, which I think is one of the more underrated moves in the game. When you're going, this will be especially for the 2 dribble part. You take 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, and if there's a crowd of people in the paint, because they might think you might just go up for a little runner here, floater here. I mean, you've been in your bag all game, so they're gonna pay attention to you. You go for a reverse, but what you're gonna do is you gotta go here. You have to take that dribble and draw them with this step. They're gonna come to you, and then all you do is you just slip it. Now, you're not gonna get to the basket necessarily. I mean, it's not gonna be so you somehow end up here. It's going to be a little bit of a long range layup, as I would say, but 1 overhead, 2 layup. Let's get into it. Alright guys, if you liked that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Check out our channel for more. We're training the next generation of ballers and we're ready to take your game to the next level.